With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Ready to get us started, the Aussie punter and kickoff man, Michael Dixon. And off we go on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second down now. It's Sanders. He'll have a first down past the 40. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe. 22 yards there, a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That's out to Chubb, complete. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
To throw on second down, Cunningham. Got a man open, it's Darren Waller. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 32-yard line.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position, everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner, and with good timing, you get a completion as we just saw there.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Cunningham looking to throw. He goes full extension, and he's got it. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
Every coach we ever talk to says to his team before the game, quick start, guys. Let's get out of the gate fast. How about that? They took his lesson to heart, didn't they?
They did exactly that. A nice diving catch here on the game's opening drive. He could muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
From the gun on 3rd down, Cunningham able to find Waller. That's complete. And he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Cunningham in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Brian Poole. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Here's Stafford. He's got his tight end complete. It's Green. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. It just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Randy Gregory with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Operating from the gun, Cunningham. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, 1st down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
You got nothing to run. You got nothing.
On 1st down, it's Cunningham. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. The 20. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Darren Waller, 48 yards. And the Jaguars have taken the lead. Extra point try good by Gano. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Stafford. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Now Cunningham. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. That's Yannick Ngakoue with a sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. 16 yards that time on the pickup for the Jags and a 1st down. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
On 1st and 10, Cunningham going up top. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. He's been the forgotten man in this first half. Not a guy you want to forget. Not only his first catch, first time they've targeted him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not
because
at all.
Those are the types of plays that he provides. When he does come alive, when they do look his way, not only is it a big catch, it's a first down.
The throw here caught by Devontae Parker. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. They'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Eluding the pressure right. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
And Gano's kick is right through. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Inside of a minute left in the half. Does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Barreling in for the sack, Shelby Harris.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way, and what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
That was 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Now Sanders. That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Come on, fellas.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. The run on first down gets them a couple up to the 27. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying under double teams.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now Stafford. He finds Beckham complete. And they work this right upfield across the 45. A pickup of 27. And they pick up the first down in the process. Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a gain of 15. First down, Seahawks. Stafford on first down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Cook following the penalty. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. 3rd and long, it's Stanford. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And he'll be brought down at the 34, well short of the first down marker.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield.
56. Mike, 56. Bravo. 56.
On 4th down, Stafford. He's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they will score. It's a Jacksonville touchdown. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
It's probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Hey, Charlie. 56.
Again, it's Cook. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Now it's Stafford. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he's all the way down to the 13-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Now a first down throw, Cunningham. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Cunningham. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Gano's kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 17. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give them confidence and let them knock it through.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. From the gun, here's Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Throwing to Stafford. It's caught. Jones. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Julio Jones. 51 yards. And the Seahawks are able to cut into that deficit. Now Stafford will come up, try to get his guys a 2-point conversion. To the air again, Stafford. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off with great anticipation. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And he takes it all the way back. It's a pick two, if you will, as that play backfires in a big way. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Well, there are two scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start. Now Cunningham has the ball knocked down, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, two-score game, so hold on here, not done in the fourth.
Hey, you don't want to see me. You don't want me.
Following the fumble recovery, Stafford. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Odell Beckham there to make the grab as his guys are back within a single score. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. And the lead will shrink to 6. So here comes the kickoff, and what now is just a one-score, 6-point game. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it, and they'll take it out to the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Now, Charles, of course, you got to remember, last possession they fumbled. It led to a touchdown. One-score game here. Got to be careful.
And this is where coaching and training really comes into play, doesn't it? What does everyone say after an error? Next play, move on, next drive. That mantra has to come to the front. They've got to take care of business right here and act like the last series just didn't happen.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. It's a second down run with Sanders. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do. Late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 44-yard line.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down, got the big completion in the pickup, fresh set of downs now, they've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. He's got the first down here inside the 30. Touchdown, Jaguars. A big play there. 44 yards. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes. Well, partner, since this new two-point rule came into play, offenses spend a lot more time working on it. That means the defenses are doing the exact same thing.
Take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Julio Jones. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far, as his guys are back within a single score. All right, now the Seahawks face a big 2-point conversion attempt. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And they're going to get the 2. It's caught. And the lead is cut to 2 here in the 4th. The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Give them 22 yards, and that's also where they snapped it from, the 22. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 1st and 10, Cunningham. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. Jones has it. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face, and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a two-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The Seahawks take over first and 10.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard. Stafford looking to throw on 3rd and 1. And it's complete. Hooper. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points